Hare Krishna Vardhana Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. This is Vinita Gandharvika Devidasi from College Station, Texas.
Hare Krishna Vinita Gandharvika Mataji, Dandat Pranam, please accept my humble obeisances. All goes to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining the call. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Vardhana Mataji, Dandat Pranam to you and all Vaishnava. Srila Prabhupada, Srila Gurudev ki jai. Vrinda from Atlanta.
Hare Krishna Vrinda Gupta Mataji, Dandat Pranam, please accept my humble obeisances. All goes to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining the call. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Vardhana Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. My humble obeisances to all the assembled devotees. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Shri Guru and Gauranga. This is Sundarangi Radha Devidasi from Canada.
Hare Krishna Shandarangi Radha Mataji, Dandat Pranam, please accept my humble obeisances. All goes to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining the call. Hare Krishna. Is anybody else would like to introduce themselves?
Start recording, Mataji.
Welcome to the Bhakti Sanga conference call. Today we are very fortunate to have His Grace Radha Pramod Prabhuji. Prabhuji is going to enlighten us on the topic of Srimad Bhagavatam, 7th canto, 15th chapter, verse 43 and 44. I'll hand out the call to Sureshwar Shampoo to give brief introduction of Prabhuji, of His Grace Radha Pramod. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, please take over the call, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. All glories to Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. His Grace Radha Damodar Prabhuji came to Krishna consciousness in 2001. Prabhuji got initiated in 2006 by His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj. Prabhuji completed courses Bhakti Vedanta at Vidya Pitam from BPRC. Prabhuji renders services like managing a preaching center in Hyderabad, training and educating corporate youth, giving daily sessions on Astha TV and other local channels, conducting online Bhagavatam sessions for many devotee groups around India. Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. Back to you, Mataji.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. I think Prabhuji is not in the call yet. We'll continue our
Ji
chant.
Prabhuji is there, Mataji. Prabhuji is there. Yeah.
Sorry. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam, please accept my humble obeisances. All goes to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for giving your valuable time and association to us this morning and enlightening on the topic of Srimad Bhagavatam. Thank you so much, Prabhu. Now I'll hand out the call to you. Hare Krishna.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudhiraye Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Ruttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. So we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 7, Chapter 15. This is instruction for civilized human beings. Text 43-44. Ragadveshascha lobhascha shoka moho bhayo mudah mano mano asuyascha maya himsascha matsarah raja pramada shuna nidra chunnidra satravasta eva adayah rajastama prakritya sattva prakrityayah vachit. Word to word meaning: ragaha, attachment. Ragaha, attachment. Dvesha, hostility. Cha also lobha, greed. Cha also shoka, lamentation. mohau, illusion, bhayam, fear, madaha, madness, manaha, false prestige, avamanaha, insult, asuya, finding fault with others, cha also, maya, deception, himsa, envy, cha also, matsaraha, intolerance, rajaha, passion, pramada, bewilderment, kshuta, hunger, nidra, sleep, satravaha, enemies. To indeed, evam adayaha, even other such conception of life, rajaha tamaha, because of conception of passion and ignorance, prakrityaha, causes, sattva, because of the conception of goodness, prakrityaha, causes, kvachit, sometimes. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. In the conditioned stage, one's conception of life are sometimes polluted by passion and ignorance, which are exhibited by attachment, hostility, greed, lamentation, illusion, fear, madness, false prestige, insults, fault finding, deception, envy, intolerance, passion, bewilderment, hunger, and sleep. All of these are enemies. Sometimes one's conceptions are also polluted by goodness, purport. The actual aim of life is to go back home, back to Godhead. But there are many hindrances created by the three modes of material nature. Sometimes by combination of Rajo Guna and Tamo Guna, the mode of passion and ignorance, and sometimes by mode of goodness in the material world. Even if one is a philanthropist, a nationalist, and a good man according to the materialistic estimation, these conception of life form a hindrance to spiritual advancement. How much more of a hindrance then are hostility, greed, illusion, lamentation, and too much attachment to material enjoyment. To progress towards the target of Vishnu, which is our real self-interest, one must become very powerful in conquering these various hindrances or enemies. In other words, one should not be attached to being a good man or a bad man in this material world. In this material world, the so-called goodness and badness are the same because they consist of three modes of material nature. One must transcend this material nature. Even the Vedic ritualistic ceremonies consist of three modes of material nature. Therefore, Krishna advised Arjuna, Traigunya Vishaya Veda Nistraigunya Bhavarjuna Nidvando Nityasatvasto Niryoga Kshema Atmavan. The Vedas mainly deal with the subject of three modes of material nature. Rise above these three modes, O Arjuna. Be transcendental to all of them. Be free from all dualities and from all anxieties for gain and safety, and be established in the self. Elsewhere in Bhagavad Gita, the Lord says, Urdhvam gachanti sattvasaha. If one becomes a very good person, in other words, if one is in the mode of goodness, he may be elevated to the higher planetary system. Similarly, if one is infected by Rajoguna and Tamoguna, he may remain in this matter in the world or go down to the animal kingdom. But all of these situations are hindrances in the path of spiritual salvation. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu therefore says, Brahmanda Brahmite Kona Bhagyavan Jeev Guru Krishna Prasade Pai Tilata Beach. Because one is fortunate enough to transcend all this so-called goodness and badness, one come to the platform of devotional service by the mercy of Krishna and Guru. His life becomes successful. In this regard, one must be very bold so that he can conquer these enemies of Krishna consciousness, not caring for the good and bad of this material world, and one must boldly propagate Krishna consciousness. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Iti Namini Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. So thank you all very much for giving me this opportunity to speak on this Bhagavatam, and I will try to speak something for my purification. Just so we are here actually very important instructions that are given here, and one important thing that we need to understand is here we need to face our enemies. So this is the first lesson we learn. Very difficult is to face our enemies. And this is actually what was the difference between Arjuna and all the normal people. Arjuna was ready to face the enemies. When Krishna, he came in front of him, he saw all this army, and he said, Shenayor Ubhayor Madhye Rastam Sthapaya Me Achyuta. He said that you keep my chariot in between the two armies. So what is there in between the two armies is the enemy. And Arjuna was confident, is I want to see the enemies. It is very difficult actually to see enemies. And one important thing why we don't make progress in spiritual life very fast is because we have so much attachment to the bodily conception of life. So this is actually we have to encounter these situations in our life, and not everyone comes out of this situation as a winner, but we have to face them. And this is actually how we face. If we are facing the situations like just give me a second. So we all face difficulties, and this is actually the main difficulty. They are our main enemies in life, and we need to understand the main enemies and ready to face them. And here Arjuna is sorry. Here, of course, in Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna is also going through the same situation and is facing them. He says that if we are, this is because we are having mode of ignorance, passion, and ignorance. And this is actually crisis in our life. The main crisis is this only, that we are affected by these things. And we see that people in different modes react with these things differently. If we see Dhritarashtra, and then there is Duryodhana and Arjuna. Dhritarashtra was blind, and his blindness is actually a consequence of defect, the consequence of wrong way out of the crisis. So this is actually crisis for us. We all want to go back to God. Prabhupada is very clearly explaining here in the purport. We all want to go back to God, and these are actually our anarthas. Actual purpose is this: they are hindrances. Now, how we face them and how we deal them, that is actually very important. And like what happens is, if somebody is in ignorance, and most of the people here, they are in ignorance only. So this is then what happens? The blindness is actually a consequence of defeat, consequence of a wrong way out of the crisis. So everyone in this life is forced to face a crisis or hindrances, and the nature is always the same. What is that? That is material identification. And now it is based, and the life is based on this life. What is that? Understanding that I am this body. So this is actually wrong understanding of people, and they work like that. And what happens sooner or later, one who bases his life on this false identification, what it is mentioned here, what happens is, the result is that they end up in this type of depression. So everybody is trying to come out of it, but because their false ego and material conception, material attachments, and there are the three modes are actually the different mentality of the people. So when a person is under mode of ignorance, is very much attached to matter, is not able to break his material attachment, and not able to understand what it leads to, then the result of this attachment is blindness only and ignorance. So we know if a person strongly holds to matter, he has to go blind in the end. That is actually what is happening to people. So he lives in his life blindly holding to matter. So this is also crisis. And this is most of the ignorant people. And now there are passionate people. So passionate people, now they are very selfish and egocentric, and whose life is dedicated to pleasing himself. And like some people are weak persons who are in ignorance, but there are physical weakness, but there is mental weakness also. So undecisiveness is an expression of people who are in tamoguna category. And like there are other people who are very strong, but they are in passion. And this strength is pointed at one's own self, one's pleasing one's own self, putting oneself above others. And now this is what happens, the result of such attachment. When a person is attached at the same time is under mode of passion, then the result is hypocrisy. Now to realize one's desire, or to fulfill one's desire of material attachment in this world, one always lies and always be a hypocritical and playing a diplomatic role. This is actually what happens persons, the people in this world around. Now, what happens is people try to manipulate. This manipulation is because of why I'm telling all this. All these qualities are manifested in person in ignorance and passion. And Kali Yuga, everybody is in ignorance, passion. So all these qualities are present to some extent. So there is manipulation. Like we see, children, why children speak lie? Because they want to manipulate. They want to enjoy. That is the reason the manipulation comes. Children have this tendency to speak lies because they want to enjoy. And this is the result of material attachment. And I want to enjoy in this material world. So now I may not speak lie, but I lie to myself in the sense that I don't want to know the reality. If I know the reality, I'm afraid I may not enjoy. That's why people don't want to attend Bhagavatam classes. They say, my God, we'll know too much and this is too much for us to understand also. So that is the problem. So this is a result of material attachment in mode of passion. Hypocrisy, cruelty, hard hardening. This is actually we can see in the many typical materialistic people. And we hear the story of Daksha. So in morning we have this Bhagavatam discussion where Daksha, he is so hard-hearted person. He became so hard-hearted because of this all this attachment, hostility, greed, madness, false prestige, and there is insult, there are fault finding, everything, deception, envy, intolerance, everything was there in Daksha. So this is a very typical case. And it is actually why? Because he is identifying himself with this. See, first comes avidya, then comes asmita. Avidya is what? Avidya is ignorance, and then asmita is the attachment to body and mind. Then comes raga, dvesha, and abhinivesha. The 5 types of ignorance. So first is avidya, then asmita. So asmita is this is the cause, makes us identify with matter. And then as soon as you identify with the raga and dvesha, I like, I don't like, and then abhinivesha. And there is a fear of death. And now this is the crisis. So what happens? A person becomes very cruel, hard-hearted. Daksha, he was so envious of Lord Shiva. And because he felt that I am very number one, big person here. And above him, there were 3 personalities. Vishnu, anyway, he worships Vishnu. He knows all my strength is from Vishnu. So no competition with Vishnu. And Brahma is also the creator, his own father, and he's created him also. So Daksha didn't had any competition with Brahma also. But Shiva, he had a competition. Because see, always if you want to compete and you want to go higher and higher, and only person above him was Lord Shiva. So he was envious of him. And because of which what happened is, he started criticizing Lord Shiva. And for no reasons. Of course, he could find fault, some reasons for fault. And then what happens is he ends up in cruelty towards his own daughter. So his daughter is coming and trying to settle the matter between his father and Lord Shiva. And Daksha is not ready to change. He just kept his opinion. And Sati was so unhappy, she was committing suicide. And Daksha did not change his heart. He is so, this is actually cruelty and hard-heartedness. Your daughter is committing suicide in front of you. You could have just told, okay, don't worry so much. I'll settle the issue. One word was sufficient. And you need not even go also. Sati would have just got pacified and she would have survived. But you see, his daughter is dying in front of his eyes. He's not even bothered only. So this is actually the problem. So now this is there are also anything in goodness also is a problem. Prabhupada is telling. This is very interesting. We'll try to understand this aspect also. Okay, passion and ignorance are there, but it is said sometimes one's conceptions are also polluted in goodness. We'll try to understand this with the example of Arjuna only. See, the Arjuna was able to this is very important understanding from Bhagavad Gita also, that people think that Arjuna is dedicated to compassion, and no, actually it is not true. So Arjuna lived 5,000 years ago, but actually he is living now also. Arjuna lives in the heart of every living being. So that's why Krishna is trying to teach us. And because we have this crisis, we have spiritual knowledge, but we are attached to matter. That is Arjuna's category. And we are all that category. We have this knowledge, but our attachment did not reduce. And we also want to watch some movies and do some things also. This is a modern version of Arjuna's. Arjuna gave, and he said that, oh, my Gandiva boy is slipping my hands and no, I am feeling weak. So in our case, it's very simple. We may be watching some movies, eating some chocolates, and then it's like it's very important because there are few moments we should know. See, what is crisis? It's actually so here we should understand, because there is crisis, there is desperation, and this makes a person overwhelmed on the path, on the spiritual path. His weakness, disbelief that he can reach something on the spiritual path, misunderstanding that's about one's need and what all he needs. Now we'll try to understand these problems in goodness also. Now what happened is, like, the first quality of a spiritual seeker is his desire to meet his enemies. So that's what I told now. That this is the first request Arjuna addresses Krishna. And he says, Senayor Ubhayor Madhye Ratam Sthapaya Mochuta. He says, keep my chariot in between the two armies. I want to see my enemies. So here in this verse, all our enemies are standing in front of us. It is not in the text. You have to see they are in our mind also. So they are our enemies and they are giving a real trouble. And now he addresses, then he said he want to see the evil sons of Darsha. But this is a very important moment. First thing we all need to have is the enough courage to see our enemies. It is not pleasing also. Not everybody want to meet his enemies. Arjuna is called great hero for this very important reason. Because Arjuna wants to meet his enemies face to face. And now what's going to happen with him after he meets his enemies? That's another question. But at least he has that courage. So the first step is very important. I want to see my enemies. Now, in order to see my enemies, or every time meeting our enemies face to face, in order for me to see them, there needs to be crisis. Very important point. I'm repeating again. To see our enemies, we need crisis in life. Then only we can see. So that's the reason Lord gives us crisis. Kunti Maharani is praying for crisis. Vipadas santuta shashvas tatra jagat guru bhavato darshanam nisyada punar bhava darshanam. So crisis help us to see our enemies. How? So now when I'm going through crisis, then I understand. Arey, I'm so angry person. I messed up everything. I lost my relationship. I am envious. Why? Because I am feeling sad seeing the success of others. That's a crisis. So another crisis is any of this. My crisis of health is because I could not take care of my, because of greed, I became sick. I ate without any restrictions. I didn't regulate myself. So many things are there. False prestige, insults, false finding, envy, intolerance, deception. They're all we can see when we go through crisis. Like when problem comes, we say, okay, now you forgive that person. How? How can I forgive? No way. I will die, but I am not going to forgive this person. So then we understand, oh, how much hostility and how much intolerance we have, how much fault finding we have, how much we are attached to our name and fame. All these things can be known. So that's the reason Krishna gives crisis. And same thing, cruelty, all these things we can see, and an individual in the normal stage struggle to see his enemies. For us it is normal. Oh, how are you? Fine. Everything is nice with me. Crisis comes, we understand. See, if you look back in life, whenever we went through crisis, that is the time we made maximum progress or maximum transformation of heart happened. That is the time, right? And Krishna arranges this situation when he puts us face to face with our problems, when he shows us our own difficulties, struggles, our weaknesses, then he says, here are your enemies. Like that. So here we are going to act at this moment. So this is the first challenge on the spiritual path, to see our enemies. And now, and I see what I have to do and how to react to that. Reactions can be different ways people react. So when someone puts us face to face with our problems, with our difficulties, what is the first most natural reaction it happens is the first is we object it. So first reaction is no, I am not this. This is the most natural reaction to any inauspicious situations. Inauspicious situation actually is how Krishna puts us face to face with our problems. Any unfavorable external situation is a reflection of our internal problems only. So when we face a difficult situation, we need to understand what internal problem is the situation reflecting, and how can I solve this problem by solving the situations. So that means external situation is the internal state of heart. So if I change my internal state of heart, then the external situation automatically changes. So it is proportionate to our internal state of mind. You are understanding? So because this unfavorable situation is going to happen again and again, like what happens is, we can even notice also, and this was my first, before coming Krishna conscious, the purpose of my joining Krishna conscious, this is the reason actually, that some unfavorable situation happens to us and again in different forms and different varieties also. So I was working in the corporate company, in a software company. I was very miserable. I worked for 5 months and I didn't like only. I said, this is not working for me. Then I thought, I want to enjoy, but I am not able to enjoy. Then I thought, if I end my life, anyway not happy, then I thought I'll be put in the same situation next life. I cannot escape. I need to look out for another solution. That was the realization before coming Krishna conscious. Then I thought, okay, let me do some good activity. Then I decided two things. Either I serve Krishna, Lord, in some temple I'll serve the Lord, or I'll do some social service. I'll join Mother Teresa. And by serving, I'll gain so much pious credits. And next life I'll enjoy. So that was my plan for next life. But somehow, fortunately, I came to ISKCON. I understood that no need of enjoyment in this metal world. I understood nobody is enjoying only. So then Prabhupada saved me in that way. But very important is, until we learn, we'll be in the same situation again and again. It comes in a different forms, the same types of suffering, in different forms and varieties with the different actors. Because we didn't pass the lesson. We didn't change our heart. Until continue, write the same exam. You reappear. One devotee stays with me. He's writing one exam from last 4 years. He's not able to clear only. So the same thing happens. Any critical, unfavorable situation is Krishna's exam. Krishna tells us, take a look at your enemies. The first thing we should do, not to reject the situation. This is the first. Either there is a situation of fight or flight. Our natural reaction to unpleasant situation is, I don't want that. To run away from it. So Arjuna also wanted to run away. So this happens to everyone. We don't want to face. We want to run away. And this is the best way to escape. And now people have very nice, ingenious ways of escaping. Alcohol, addictions, internet addictions. Any addictions is actually running away from reality. Many big celebrities or successful people, they also are running away from reality, because externally they are successful, but internally they are feeling very lonely. So they are not able to face reality. That's why they run away. They run away and they are also taking drugs and all these things. Right. So here, first thing is to, instead of running away, what we should do? Face the reality. And this this is one first lesson and very important lesson I learned when I was in my school time. And after that, I accepted it. So I have told this. There was cricket match going between India and some other countries, and India was losing the match. I think today is also some cricket matches. So what happened is, then I just left the TV and I went to one of my seniors. He is elder to me in the school. I think 4 or 5 years is it. I said, no, Anna, let us go and play cricket. Anyway, our Indian team is not playing proper cricket, so let us play. Then he told me a very important lesson, and for the rest of my life, it gave us such a good impression. He said, face the reality. And that was the most valuable lesson. And I still thank him for that lesson. So this is actually very important. We should face the reality. We should not run away. Yeah, that is what. If you have to face it, you face it. What is the problem? Krishna is telling to Arjuna same thing. Don't be so much affected by success, failure. It's not actually in your hand. So Krishna then shows to Arjuna, we have to pray to Krishna, beg to Krishna to show me my problems. Then Krishna then shows to Arjuna, yes. And then Krishna showed to Arjuna his problems. And what Arjuna did? Arjuna said, I am off. Thanks, Krishna. I got it. I am packing my stuff and I'm going to build a bhajan kutir. And then first thing we should ask, and second thing we should think. And Krishna, first is we should ask Krishna to show, and then thank Krishna for showing. And second thing is to accept the unpleasant situation without trying to run away from it. And we should be deeply thankful to Krishna for this crisis, this pain. And this is actually the toughest part. Sincerely thanking God for putting us in this painful situation is very difficult. We all want favorable situations. We all want others to consider us nice and love us, and for our life to be bright. We all visit astrologers and ask, Prabhuji, can you tell me when I'll be happy in this life? And astrologer says, actually, you have Saturn phase starting very soon. and I have interesting, the most disappointing thing is everyone has have Saturn in our life. In the horoscope, Saturn is there for everyone. And we have to face challenges. Every individual will pass these lessons. And at those moments, we should remember the first chapter of Bhagavad Gita. We will have to accept this lesson given by Krishna with gratitude. See, everybody, we all went through crisis. Somebody passed in their past life. That's why in this life, they are going for different exams. Now, whatever exams we are writing, everybody has to go through only. Somebody cleared in last life and somebody are going to clear in the future life, and we are doing whatever exams at our level. That's all. So don't think like, oh, their life is very pleasing, very smooth going. Mine is very rough and tough. Yeah, they passed the exam last life. You pass this life, next life will be clear for you. So the lesson is the one and only one, that we have to learn gratitude. Sometimes people ask, what's my mission in life? So what is the special mission? We have only one mission, to get rid of material attachments. That's all. We all have one life goal. No, people think I have so many karmic challenges. There is Rahu, Ketu, and all this karma, so much is there. We all have only one karmic challenge, to get rid of false material identification. That's actually what Prabhupada is telling here. So why? Because in the end, if we don't get rid of this, all these painful situations will continue. We'll have one karmic challenge after another, after another, after another. So karmic challenge is just one. Get rid of karma, get rid of this habit to identify oneself with matter, get rid of material attachments. So, and different people try to solve it in a different way. Like Arjuna's case, now what's Arjuna's problem? What problem of, this is actually in Sattva-guna, right? That's what we are discussing. The problem in Sattva-guna is, no, at this level, there are material attachments also. And these Sattvic people are kind people, also have material, but they have their material attachment. So these material attachments are more difficult to understand also, and more difficult to identify. And now a person himself can hardly see them. So from the outside, they seem to be very good qualities. Like now, how is Arjuna's reaction? Arjuna's material manifestation, how it came? It is coming like compassion, right? Arjuna is he, honestly thought he is showing compassion also. Even Arjuna is feeling, I am showing compassion, right? People who read Bhagavad Gita, many thousands of years Bhagavad Gita was spoken, and many of them, they don't understand the first chapter. They think Arjuna is a good person, Krishna is evil. No, many great philosophers read Bhagavad Gita and they didn't understand the first chapter. So there is Henry David Thoreau and so many other, they all read Bhagavad Gita, but they could not understand. It was very difficult to understand because it looks like Arjuna is a good person. He is kind person. Arjuna don't want to kill or cause pain. He don't want to do evil to others. Now what's wrong about it? Why does not Krishna tell him, my son, finally I have heard something. You may walk in peace. Krishna didn't tell to Arjuna like this. Because Krishna is impossible to be deceived. Arjuna cannot deceive Krishna. Because Krishna can see behind what Arjuna is speaking is Arjuna's material attachments. They are dressed as compassion, but it is all material attachment. Krishna is impossible to deceive. He knows it's not compassion. He knows he knows the elements of cruelty. They are dressed as ahimsa, non-violence. But it is all cruelty only. Because we can see Arjuna, what he says that, how can I kill Swajanam Krishna? They are Swajana Bandhavaha. He says, how can I kill my relatives? Now, this is a very important thing. So he knows element of cruelty are dressed as ahimsa. And Krishna says this thing to Arjuna. Arjuna, you are a rascal. Arjuna sits in front of him thinking, I am so nice, I am so kind, and I am going to cry in compassion. And Krishna says, you are violent. Because material attachment means violence. We discussed also. Material attachment. Any pleasure I want, there should be violence. If I have a very big mansion, I want to enjoy a big mansion, I should at least keep 3-4 maid servants to take care of this building. Even because so many people should work very hard so that I can enjoy that luxury. Otherwise, how is it possible? There should be some people sacrifice to give me pleasure. They have to clean the big mansion day in, day out, and they should cook for me. They should do so many things, gardening for me and all these things. Then I will enjoy that pleasure. That means what? Somebody else is sacrificing, right? They are paying for it, but they are working. Then only I'll get pleasure. Any material enjoyment, some sort of violence is there. So now material attachment is violence. What's more when I have false ego? So when I identify myself with the body, it means my life will be based on violence only. So until I identify myself with this body, so material body, material mind, it means I like something and I don't like something. This is the point. Raga and Dvesha. When you have Asmita, then there is Raga and Dvesha. That means what? It means I like something and I don't. When I like something, what I will do? I'll accept and rejoice with it. When I dislike something, what will I do? I will fight with it if I dislike. I want to kill it or something else. So if something is against, so this is actually violence. Krishna sees that when Arjuna says you are playing kind, in fact, you are an evil and cruel person. Actually, Arjuna expressed that. He said, how can I kill my relatives? Now, you see this question. If you see this question very clearly, what he's saying, how can I kill my relatives? That means, how can I, we can rephrase this question in another words. What does another way? Somebody else relatives I can kill. Then he says, how can I kill my relatives? Means I can kill somebody else relatives, not mine. Now, so this is actually, if they were strangers, then there was no problem. Arjuna would have happily fought, because just now he came from with Indra's kingdom. He went and he killed many thousands of Nirata Kavachas and came. That time Arjuna didn't have problems because they are not his relatives. So he's not playing kind. Krishna says that it is very tough for us to see because we are all Arjunas in a way. So we are all so this is actually truth. This we all reveal in our own kindness, compassion, something else. And that's why here that there is these are problems in mode of goodness. So there is, now people should be situated at the level of soul to understand. So at the level of realization of the soul, and it all starts with false ego. We need to understand the true ego, and all human problems come from this actually being confused, of not having the understanding of true spiritual nature. And okay, we have few more minutes. I wanted to add some more things. Now we can come out of this situation only when I understand that I will be able, when I am not attached to the fruits of my labor. That's why we have this Karma Yoga or Varnashram Dharma. For devotees, it's a different thing. We have to do it for the pleasure of Krishna. Then we attain happiness. So in other words, to realize oneself is not connected to this body, I have to detach from the fruits of my labor. And as long as I stay attached, I will never be able to understand the eternal nature of the soul. So, and this is actually very difficult to understand. That's the reason again and again we have to hear the same topics, and it's very important to hear. And all these people in passion, ignorance, and there are now three categories of people. There are people who don't want to think. So when we come here, we are supposed to think and understand and see the reality. So first type of people, they don't want to think. And majority of the people who are staying around, they don't want to think. Why they don't want to think? Because they have nothing to think. Because attachments are so strong for them. So when I have strong attachment, I don't have to think, because I have all ready-made answers in all situations. I have reflective answers to everything because of this attachment, because I want to protect my situation all the time. That's why I don't think. I am already attached. I know what to do because I am just interested in the situation only. That is a practice. And then what happens? Person becomes a karmic machine. So certain karmic program have been inserted into oneself, and he don't want to think. This is less, because the lesser I think, less it is better. I'm already attached. Like children, if you see they are playing with certain things, certain situation, they are attached. You tell them, beta, come study this, that. They said, no, not interested. You have exams, you have to go, you have to do your homework. They don't want to think. They're attached to their play. And the same thing happens when we become bigger, when we grow, we are attached to our situation. My family, my job, my bank balance, my own things, my own enjoyment. Think about purpose of life. No, 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 no. Don't disturb. Less I think, much better it is. I don't want to go into reality because I already know the answers. What is the answer? How to protect my attachments. That's all. So these people fight. And like then there are like people like Duryodhana. He knows what he needs. And these are the people who don't think because it's tough for them to think. And then there are people like Arjuna, maybe we may come in that category. They think it means that they don't know, but at least they have started thinking. They have doubts and they are hesitant and they cry also and they give up. So they are good people who are started thinking. There are people who don't think it and people who think and people who stopped thinking. Then there are people like Krishna or self-realized people who also don't think because they know everything. So people who don't want to think or they stopped thinking even though they don't know anything because they don't want to think because it's good not to think, they are attached. And people like us, we want to think but we don't know what to do because we are confused. And people who already know self-realize like Krishna, they don't think. So these are the people who don't think because they don't have to. They already have a ready answer. So they know the real truth. And there are people in between. So, yeah. So, few more points here. So, here, mode of goodness is also, that's what here Prabhupada is telling. So, there is sometimes by a combination of Rajoguna and Tamoguna, the mode of passion and ignorance, sometimes by mode of goodness. So, in material world, even if one is philanthropist, a nationalist, and a good man, according to material estimation, this conception of life form a hindrance to spiritual advancement. You see? So then what to speak of hostility, greed, illusion, lamentation, and other things. So the progress towards the target of Vishnu, which is our real self-interest. Nate vidu swartha gatim he Vishnu. So that is the real self-interest. One must become very powerful in conquering these various hindrances or enemies. In other words, one should not be attached to being a good man or a bad man in this material world. And yeah, in this, so Arjuna very clearly, Arjuna is telling that very clearly is telling that come out of these three types of what do you say? Traigunya Vishayaveda Nistraigunyo Bhavarjuna. We have to transcend all these things. So even the Vedic ritualistic ceremonies consists of three modes of mental nature. Therefore, Krishna advised Arjuna, Traigunya Vishayaveda Nistraigunyo Bhavarjuna Nidvando Nitya Niryoga Kshematma. So these Vedas, they deal with all these things only. All the things that are in goodness, passion, ignorance, gain, happiness, safety, success, all dualities. And ऊर्ध्वं गच्छन्ति सत्त्वस्था मध्ये तिष्ठन्ति राजसा जगन्य गुणवित्तिस्था अधो गच्छन्ति तामसा. So by God of goodness we will be elevated because that type of happiness is safer. And then that's the reason where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is telling Brahmanda Brahmite Kona Bhagyavan Jeev Guru Krishna Prasade Pai Bhakti Lata Beach. This is very important. Oh, I should have taken this verse, but somehow I took some other points only. I should have taken this point more elaborately. Maybe next time we'll do. I could have spoke on Bhakti. Brahmande Brahmite Kon Bhagyavanji. Anyway, I took the first part of the para, but this is also very important. I'll tell 1-2 points for this. See, what is important here is that here Bhakti means we should have a desire to please Krishna and desire to serve Krishna and please Krishna. So this is what we need to develop. Maybe some other time we'll discuss more detail on this, but 1-2 points I'll tell. Bhakti means what? If anybody gets the desire to please Krishna, he is very fortunate. If anybody gets a desire to please him, serve him, that's it. His bhakti started. And other things will slowly follow. So what we have to do when we are preaching means we should help person get a desire to serve Krishna and please Krishna. And pleasing Krishna is pleasing our spiritual master. Or any Vaishnava, we should develop a desire to please a Vaishnava. This is actually not so easy. And to get blessings of a Vaishnava, to please Vaishnava, we need to be very focused. And then we'll be able to achieve it. And if one is fortunate enough to transcend all this so-called goodness and badness and come to the platform of devotional service by the mercy of Krishna and Guru, his life becomes successful. In this regard, one must be very bold so that he can conquer these enemies of Krishna consciousness. So these are our hindrances. See, soul, he want to serve Krishna. So chant and be happy means what? We should be happy that we are getting opportunity to serve Krishna by chanting. That's why we should be happy. Chant and be happy does not mean that if I chant, immediately I am going to become happy. And we are waiting when we will be happy. Bhakti Gyan Maharaj says, I am chanting and I am thinking when I will be happy, when I will be happy, but happiness is not coming. No, that is not like that. Chant and be happy is instruction. Prabhupada is telling you should chant and also be happy. Why I should be happy? Because I got an opportunity to please Krishna, opportunity to serve Krishna. That's why I'm happy. What I am going to get? I may not get anything, but I got an opportunity. Like say, if you are getting opportunity to meet, many gurus of ISKCON, says only Japa Swami Maharaj. He is coming to your house and you are getting opportunity to serve him. What did you get? The opportunity itself is very happy. So that's the point here. Janivas Prabhu is coming to your house. So the opportunity itself is happiness, right? So that's what chant and be happy means. That is what he says. So yes. Yeah, I should summarize whatever I told. I only don't remember it, but still I'll summarize. So what we discussed is that we should be willing to face our enemies. And Arjuna was called a warrior because he was ready to face our enemies, and these are our enemies. And how does Krishna show our enemies? By giving crisis in life. So when crisis come, then we can see our enemies, then we can see our position. Then we'll see, my God, this is what I am. I was thinking I'm such a great person. So we come to reality. So what we should do? We should be grateful to Krishna and we should not run away. We should face them. Because as long as we don't face them and overcome them, we will be kept in the same situation again and again. Maybe the people and things will change, but the crisis will be same only. As long as we don't learn from it. And then we learn, we grow, and then we make advancement. So that is the main point of discussion. And then there is cruelty because of attachment. And even in goodness also, Arjuna was trying to play kind. But Krishna told him, no, that is not fair. You are not kind. You are cruel only because you have material attachments. So, yes, thank you very much. Any questions, comments, or we can end?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. All glories to you, Prabhuji. Thank you so much, Prabhu, for such a beautiful class. I really like the point that you are telling is just not identifying our enemy or a problem and just leaving it. We have to face that. I mean, the facing itself, like sometimes, okay, I have this problem. I know I'm struggling with it, but I don't want to fight it. I don't want to fight for it. How can I get out of it? That you were giving very nice examples, Prabhuji. If we don't face it, then we are going to struggle more and more. We need to face it and we need to come out of it, learn from our lessons. And that was very nice, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. And when we are in crisis, that's when our real enemies are being seen. That's what you are telling, right, Prabhuji, if I understood correctly? Yes, so that is also very interesting point, Prabhuji, to know that how, yeah, when I am in trouble or when somebody irritated me, that's when my anger comes. Oh, this is my problem. So then I have to control my anger. So very beautifully explained, Prabhuji, every step. Thank you so much. Hope I will be able to implement all of this. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, thank you so much for wonderful class, Prabhuji. As Vinita Gandharvika Mataji said, there are very enlightened points which we need to implement in our daily path, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. Devotees, if anybody have any questions, please unmute yourself and go ahead. Sindhu Mataji, please go
Hare
ahead.
Krishna Prabhuji, now our classes timings will be changing whenever you come next time. So hopefully you'll be available on weekdays also. And even for mid-morning calls. From tomorrow, our timings are changing. So we'll start early, 1 hour early class.
Yeah, maybe possible.
Waiting for your association in mid-morning calls too. So that call time should be mid-morning should be 8:30. So it would be easy, I guess, Prabhu. I will text you though. Hare Krishna.
Sure.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you, Mataji, for giving me an opportunity. Very wonderful class, as usual, Prabhu. I have actually two questions. So one is, the whole problem is because of this false identity, you said, right, of the body. It's very, at the conceptual level, right? It is very difficult to implement, or how do we implement it? I know we keep saying from day one, self-realization, you're not this body, you're this spiritual soul. But how do we actually come to that level, Prabhu? It's not very easy, right?
Yeah. Of course, it is not very easy. We did not separately think that I am not the body, spirit, soul, that we don't do it. What we do is we do bhakti only. But slowly, we pray, hope that we come out of this bodily conception of life. So that's actually what we do. So we need not separately work on coming out of anything. Like jnanis, they have to practice to come out of it. We may not do like that. But what we do is we understand, yes, this is because of my own attachment, I am suffering. This is my own attachment, these are another spirit. So that understanding we should have very clearly. And we sincerely pray to Krishna, chant, and when we are hearing, reading, and we identify those things and we don't want to repeat it. Say now you are dealing with your family members and all. You have to be very clear that I should not be so attached to my... See, basically where the problem comes now, if your desire is not fulfilled, if our desire is not fulfilled, we are very upset. What does it mean? That means I am so much identifying myself with the desire. But I am not the desire only. Why should I identify with so much and become upset and make a big scene out of it? If things don't happen our way, what is there any loss? No loss. Because anyway, it is not going to happen my way. It is always Krishna's way only. So why I should create a big scene out of it? Okay, let it be. If Krishna want it that way, I am fine with it. It is not any other person's way. It is only Krishna's way in this world. You get that understanding, you are very peaceful. And if I am becoming envious or greedy or lusty or I am hankering for certain things, I didn't know, this is not what I need. Even if things don't happen my way, if it is not my things, I can be really happy. So our problems are our identification with our desires only. But we are not our desires. We are separate from our desires. So even if I don't get my BMW car also, I can be still happy.
Very nice. Thank you, Prabhu. I have another question. It's more because I did not listen properly, Prabhu. You said avidya, asmita, raga, dvesha, and what was the last one?
Abhinivesha, fear of death.
Abhinivesha. Okay. Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you so much. Wonderful class. As Mataji was saying, give more association in this Bhakti Sangha group, Prabhu. Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Pralananand Prabhuji, please go ahead, Prabhuji.
Pranam Mataji, and then Pranam Prabhuji, everyone. Very nice class, Prabhuji. My query is that Bhagavan Krishna has promised Uddhava in 11th canto. He says, Yan Astha Naro Rajan. This is Parikshit Maharaj. I mean, Sukhdevji is telling Yana Astha Naro Rajan Na Pramadyat Karhachi. And then he says, Dhavan Nimilya Matreva Na Skale Na Padeva. Okay, so now the second stanza he says that Na Pramadyat Karhichi. So I'm doing my rounds, I'm doing, Bhagavad study, I'm doing sadhu sang, I'm attending all these things. But despite my attempts and all this, why do I fall down? Does Lord Krishna promise that eventually will come to me? Does he mean that way? Or, because in the 9th chapter Bhagavad Gita he also says, Aprapya mam nivartante mrityu sansar vartman. So will I rotate or will I someday reach Lord Krishna because I have started the process? So that is my query, Prabhuji.
Yeah. There is up and down that happens. But this path is such a perfect path. Even if you fall, get up, continue running, you will definitely reach the destination. The goal is already reached. You just have to continue the path. You make all your struggles and whatever efforts you have to make, you make. Ultimately, you will get it because this is the perfect place where we are in. And no need of any doubt that maybe I should add some other thing to this. Maybe I should. No, everything is there in this. Just practice it and without any doubt. So that's actually what is the point. Don't have any doubt. This will work. Like say, I have to take a medicine. Sometime I forget to take the medicine. Then what I should do? Oh, then I should again try to keep a reminder and take the medicine. And then because this medicine is going to 100% cure me, I have that faith, I continue it. So similarly, this bhakti is a 100% medicine guarantee. Only thing is I am forgetting sometime. That means I am falling down. Get up and continue like that.
Okay. Thank you, Prabhuji. Then we pranam. Very good.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Gail Mataji, please go ahead, Mataji.
Hi, Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, a couple things. One is following up from the first question. We're talking about implementing what we know. Oh no. Anyway, implementing what we know, right? How can we? This might not be a follow-up from the first question, but anyway, just trying to understand how to get better enthusiasm to implement what we hear all the time, like, because you were saying how when we come to crisis, that's like an inspiration, right? But I mean, I don't really want to wait for crisis. I want to have that enthusiasm and determination like now.
I also have that fear. I want to learn it before Krishna teaches me.
Yeah. Why does why does it always have to be through pain? I mean, it doesn't have to be, but that's the human condition, right? That we're not inspired until we're facing a painful situation. But I guess, the more intelligent people, they don't wait for that, right? So how to get more intelligence, I guess.
Yeah, if you are first class intelligence, you will see other people suffering and you learn.
Right. So how
Then
to
you
get
have to
this
go.
first class intelligence? I don't want third class anymore.
You are asking a third class person.
No. Definitely not. Definitely not.
Actually, the desire to learn itself is actually what we need. Now, Krishna is going to give it uh, very. We need not go through crisis. We just have to have a desire to change, desire to work, desire to improve. That is what we have to create. And all intelligence, Krishna is saying, Dadami Buddhi Yoga. He gives the intelligence. Only thing is we have to have that proper association, hear from them and develop that desire. Then by seeing others going through crisis, immediately we try to rectify. Why Bhagavatam is telling all the stories of fall downs and success and mistakes and all? Just to give that intelligence only. Why Daksha's story we have to hear? From nowhere, why Daksha? Why we have to hear about Kapil Dev and Devhuti's instructions? So these instructions are given and immediately Daksha's story is told. You see, this is what happens. If you offend, this is the story. And then Dhruva's story comes. And then Prutumara's story comes. Prachetas come. So all these things are helping us to awaken only, to bring us to the first class intelligence, just by making us here develop the desire. So that what is the most important thing, the greatest gift we have is the desire. That is our free will. So that is what we have to change. So now you are hearing, now you got a desire. You again and again we hear, we develop a desire. Maybe I should become a good person. Then when we chant with the desire. Maybe Krishna, give me an opportunity. Let me change. Let me become better. So quality of our chanting is proportionate to the quality of our hearing. And when we hear with that quality, it is not just, that's why in the 5 aspects of devotional service, the 5 primary aspects, the 5 things, staying in the dham and chanting the holy name, worshipping the deity, serving Vaishnavas. And the 5th one is hearing Bhagavatam. It is not reading and studying, it's hearing. Hearing means we should have that particular mood, particular attitude. And that means with that, when we hear, then it immediately going to change our heart, develop that desire. So the Shraddha, the faith means the desire for us, one of the understanding. So when we get that desire, then any instructions, any pastime, anything we are hearing, immediately the lesson is come. My God, I should not do any Vaishnava aparadh. Daksha did it, he got it. Now I should not be one like it. So we learn it very fast if we are hearing it properly. So that is the key.
Okay,
And
so
we have to be in that association.
Yeah, so you're saying we should hear properly as contrasted by studying, reading and studying. So so the distinction between those two things is that a person who you say is like just reading and studying without hearing properly, that reading and studying, you mean, is just like trying to gain, collect information, that type thing.
See what happens? We are getting that other person's emotions also are carried through it. So that has more effect. That's the reason. When we hear Prabhupada tapes or any other gurus and all, we are also trying to catch the emotion of that person, because that person has a desire that will also enter into us. We will also feel, Arey, yeah, that is good only. No? So this famous story I always tell, that a person, he heard that the king wanted to get his daughter married to a saint, sadhu. So then he also dress up as a sadhu, is a thief. He also stands in the line. Then there are so many sadhus standing there. And then the king asks, say, I want to give half of my kingdom and my daughter in marriage. And he asks the first sadhu, he says, no, why I need all these things? I am happy, with my chanting and my spiritual activities. And he asks the second one. And here the thief is thinking, okay, when it comes to my turn, and I'll be the first person to say yes. And everybody says, no, no, no. By the time it comes his turn, then he asks, okay, you want to marry my daughter and no have kingdom? Then because he heard 30 times, no, 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 he also says, actually, why I need all these things? I'm happy chanting, hearing, and doing my spiritual activities. So immediately, because he heard, his heart also got changed. He also understood this is not actually needed. We can be happy without all these things. So that quality of hearing, na, that has that effect. We feel, oh, maybe I don't need, I just need Krishna in my life. Like that.
Yeah, so therefore, the proper way to hear, you're saying, is to hear with the mood or the desire, please let my heart be changed as a result of this hearing.
Yeah.
Right? But just one last thing, Prabhu, on this point, I don't know. This doesn't seem to be working for me, because I know that's how we're supposed to hear. And I'm not seeing this changing happening,
No, it is not correct. See, the point you are able to hear day in and day out every day, that means it has an effect. Otherwise, it will not, this much consistency is not possible only. It has an effect. You may not know. Now, you want to become president of America or what? You'll not have, even if they give also, you'll say no.
Definitely, for sure, I can tell you that one.
So that is what, see, three things happens. First is your your desires are reducing, and you get taste in spiritual activities. When you are attending some kirtans and holy name is chanted, you experience some bliss. Your material desires are reducing. That means there is an effect that is happening. You cannot deny that.
Well, I do like my movies, though, Prabhu. I have to tell you that.
See, that is because there is some conditionings. But now I say, okay, Mataji, for next 3 months, don't hear any Krishna conscious katha. Is it possible?
No.
No, even for 2 days, 3 days also we feel that emptiness. So that means what? So that there is the desire, and slowly, slowly this will that will help you to come out of these conditionings. But you are holding on to it. That is actually the success.
You said
So,
what will help me to come out of it? Just now you said?
because see what happens now, there are two things happens. One is it has a chit potency that is entering into your consciousness. That is spiritual activities.
Mm.
And then these things which are material things which we are doing, that is at the level of manas only. It's an emotional level. But this is
Yeah.
working at spiritual level. So it
Uh-huh.
has different effect. So slowly, slowly, it will change your whole, what you call, internal structure will change. So you will lose taste in this. Even the way the materialistic people enjoy movie, you will not be able to enjoy the way, because they really into it. You understand this is all illusion, this is bogus. How can something be like this? You'll not be able to enjoy because you understand reality. See, what is enjoyed in the movie is that emotional state. And raga and dvesha is only the enjoyment, what people have in material world. And all the movies are raga and dvesha only. Attachment and aversion. So the emotional state, you have to the emotions between the boy and girl, and emotion of being a successful person, emotion of being taking a revenge, or emotion of cheating somebody, or showing I am something very smart. So this type of emotion are extreme fear, or you are trying to fight some danger or coming out of some danger and all. So all this emotional state only you are enjoying, but then you understand, oh, this is all not reality. This is all at the state of mind. So slowly, slowly you come out of that illusion. Why I have to enjoy illusion? Why can't I enjoy something real? So it will happen like that.
Okay, Prabhu. Well, pray for me, please, please, please. I'm not just saying, I'm asking you to actually pray for me.
Yes, definitely. Today I will
Prabhu,
go on.
yeah, just thank you so much. Just one absolute last point. We were talking about the difference. Somebody asked a question, and you were talking about the difference between the Gyanis, the way Gyanis try to understand that they are not the body, right? And
Yeah.
the devotee who's also trying to understand this is, you're saying that the devotee, he doesn't do some extraneous endeavor. right?
Yeah.
So the Jnani, his approach is that he is trying to understand by some intellectual endeavor, whereas
He makes intellectual words.
yeah, like I guess Sankhya, right? It's like this
Yes.
this is so that's intellectual, no?
Yeah.
Whereas for the devotee, he's not trying to understand through intellectual endeavor. He's trying, his understanding comes as a byproduct of his devotional service.
Yes. Vasudeve Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga Prayojitaha Janati Asu Vairagyam Jnanam Chedayate. He automatically gets that Vairagya and Jnana just by doing Vasudeve Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga Prayojita. By doing Bhakti to Vasudeva, he'll get both the things on their own.
Yeah.
Byproduct.
So he's not like directly trying to understand. All he's trying to do is to please Krishna, and as a result of that desire to please Krishna, then his realization comes like this. Okay, I'm just trying to get confirmation of my understanding correctly.
Yes, perfect.
Okay, great. Thank you, Prabhu.
Maybe I should take one session on how movies cannot make us a devotee happy. Some session.
Oh my God, I'll be the
Prabhuji,
first
definitely
one.
you have to take it, Prabhuji, please.
I'll be the first person to sign up.
Prabhuji, that is most needed, Prabhuji.
Yeah. Please do that one. I'm waiting for that one. Seriously, I'm serious. Okay, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Next class only, Mataji.
Oh,
And Prabhuji, your answer is so much hope giving, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. It gives hope.
Thank you so much for wonderful answers, Prabhu. Prabhu, there are some messages in the chat I would like to read for you, Prabhuji. Vrunda Gopika Mataji is paying obeisances to you. Koti Dandavats Pranam. No words to your sincere seva, Srila Prabhupada, Srila Gurudev Ki Jai. And Priya Mataji is saying, Hare Krishna Prabhuji so nicely explained. Out of the box inside, the personality and the traits of Arjuna are wonderful. I could see, thought myself so true, through myself so true. And Harita Mataji is paying obeisances to you, and your sessions are so practical, and you tell what actually happens with everyone mentioning the situation, and you make us realize what is our mistake and how to overcome. Really like the point. Face the situation. Don't run away, Jay. And one more, Prabhu, Yashamati Mataji, Dandavats Pranam. Thank you for a very wonderful class, as usual. So many beautiful points to make away. Eternally grateful to you. Always see Krishna hand in every situation, then be happy. Nice question and answer session, Prabhuji. Devotees, does anybody have any further questions or realizations you'd like to share? Prabhuji, every class you mention new points and you'll say we'll take one session, Prabhuji, but that sessions are being going on pending, Prabhu. You have to take some.
Yeah, Prabhuji, do it on your own channel also. It's okay, Prabhuji. We can share among ourselves. It's okay. Wherever you
I'll do on the YouTube channel.
Yeah, please, Prabhuji. I'm following your YouTube channel, so I can take it from there.
Thank you. For your kind words. Actually, I tell everything for myself, and I'm telling myself only, and so I tell it loudly so that you all can hear. That's the difference.
For yourself means these many points. For ourselves means there'll be many, many more points, Prabhuji. Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Yeah, one quick announcement. Tomorrow the class will start early. Please join early so that we don't miss Srimad Bhagavatam from tomorrow onwards. Okay, Mataji, we can
Thank
also
you.
our obeisances.
Yes.
Kalpatarobhyasya kripa sindhu eva chapatitanam
Padmebhyo,
Vaishnavebhyo namo
Vaishnavebhyo
namaha.
namo
Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrinda ki jai. Shri Prabhupada Ki jai. Praise Radha Pramod Prabhuji ki
Jai.
jai.
Radhe.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare
Jai Prabhu.
Krishna.
Hare
so much.
Krishna
Jai
Prabhuji,
Radhe.
Dandavad Pranam.
Hare Krishna.
Very
Very
much.
beautiful
Thank you so
session.
much, Prabhuji. Hare
Thank you.
Krishna.